Something strange is happening in Jay-Z's world. The same people who once called him brother are now turning their backs, whispering that his empire is about to crumble. Gene Deal, the man who worked side by side with Diddy, has come forward with chilling claims that Jay-Z's downfall isn't just coming, it's already begun. He says Jay's past decisions, the betrayals he thought were buried, and the alliances he broke are all resurfacing like ghosts that refuse to stay silent. But the real shock? Those who once feared Jay are now plotting his fall. Diddy may be locked up, but his shadow still reaches across the industry. And according to insiders, Jay-Z might be his next target. As rumors swirl and silence grows louder, even Beyoncé's behavior has people wondering if she's already preparing her exit. The question is no longer if Jay-Z will face consequences, but when. And when that moment comes, who will be standing beside him?
For years, the friendship between Jay-Z and Diddy looked unbreakable. Two kings rule in hip-hop from opposite coasts. But behind the handshakes and smiles, resentment had been building. Gene Deal, who witnessed it all, claims Diddy never forgave Jay-Z for stepping over him in the game. The bitterness was quiet, but it ran deep. When Diddy's world collapsed and he needed loyalty most, Jay stayed silent. No support, no public defense, nothing. That silence was a betrayal Diddy couldn't ignore. Deal says that now, with Diddy behind bars and losing everything, he's obsessed with revenge, and Jay is target number one. The industry knows how Diddy moves when he feels crossed. He doesn't strike fast, he plans, he waits. And if Gene is right, Diddy's next play might already be in motion. The same man who helped Jay rise could be the one who pulls him down, piece by piece, until there's nothing left but regret and fear.
Long before the billion-dollar deals and luxury brands, Jay-Z's story was carved out of violence and ambition. In 1999, he made headlines for stabbing a record executive, only to walk free after a quiet settlement. For many, that incident showed just how far his influence reached. But Gene Deal and Jaguar Wright insist it also revealed something darker, a man willing to do whatever it takes to protect his image. Jay-Z himself once called that moment the best thing that ever happened to him, a statement that still sends chills down the spines of those who remember it. Now, as the spotlight shifts and Diddy's allies turn into enemies, those old ghosts are returning. The same ruthless drive that built Jay-Z's empire might be what tears it apart. Because every secret has an expiration date, and every buried story eventually claws its way back to the surface. Jay thought his past was locked away. He was wrong.
There was a time when Jay-Z stood at the center of a powerful movement, one that promised independence and control for black artists. Alongside figures like Dame Dash and Suge Knight, the dream was simple: build a distribution network free from the grip of major labels. But according to whispers that never died down, that dream was sabotaged from the inside. Leaks reached the authorities, meetings were exposed, and the entire plan collapsed before it even began. Fingers pointed at Jay-Z, accused of trading loyalty for favor with the industry gatekeepers. Suge Knight's rage wasn't just about competition, it was about betrayal. Even years later, insiders claimed the resentment hasn't faded. The men who once envisioned unity now see Jay as the one who sold them out. That decision may have bought him power, but it also painted a target on his back. In the end, the industry Jay helped build might be the same one that tears him apart.
Gene Deal's stories don't just expose secrets, they strip away the myth of invincibility. He recalls moments when Jay-Z, the so-called king of the streets, wasn't as fearless as the world believed. One of those moments? Jay allegedly hiding in a hotel room out of fear that Tupac might find him. It's an image that shatters the illusion, because power built on perception is fragile. Gene even admits that he once came close to confronting Jay himself. The tension, the fear, the silence,
It all paints a picture of a man who's been running from his past for decades. And now, with Diddy's downfall shaking the entire industry, those old enemies are resurfacing. Men who once stayed quiet out of respect or fear are finding their voices again. When the people who used to protect you start to speak against you, it's not just a rumor anymore. It's a warning. Jay's circle is shrinking, and the walls are closing in.
What's happening to Diddy right now feels like a script out of a dark thriller. Locked away, reportedly targeted, attacked, and living in fear of his own safety. Sources claim he's being punished, not just for what he did, but for who he crossed. Diddy, once untouchable, is said to have cooperated with powerful figures. And now the same system he served might be turning on him. Gene Deal says Diddy's name carries danger, even behind bars, and that anyone associated with him could be next. That includes Jay-Z, because when the system starts cleaning house, it doesn't stop with one man. It takes everyone tied to him. Diddy's fall removed one of Jay-Z's biggest shoes, the connection that kept certain doors closed and certain files buried. Now with Diddy gone and the spotlight shifting, Jay stands exposed. The question haunting the industry isn't if he'll fall, it's who's pulling the strings to make it happen.
For decades, the entertainment world has thrived on silence. Secrets traded behind closed doors. Stories buried under contracts and NDAs. But silence doesn't last forever. Rumors are surfacing, dark allegations, hidden behaviors, and old footage that could destroy careers. People once loyal to Jay-Z are beginning to talk, and it's creating waves powerful enough to shake the entire foundation of his brand. Some claim Jay's protection came from the same machine that shielded Diddy for years, until it didn't. Because when the system decides you're no longer valuable, the protection vanishes overnight. And the whispers about tapes, files, and secret recordings, they're getting louder. It's not about guilt or innocence anymore. It's about timing. The moment the wrong piece of evidence leaks, everything collapses. Jay-Z has survived scandal before, but this time, the silence isn't in his favor. It's the kind that comes before the storm.
Everything in Jay-Z's story comes down to one theme: karma. The betrayals, the manipulation, the sacrifices made for success, all of it circling back in ways no one could predict. Diddy's empire has already fallen. Suge Knight, once feared, is locked away. Even the quiet ones, people like Gene Deal and Jaguar Wright, are finding the courage to speak their truth. And at the center of it all stands Jay-Z, facing the same fate he once watched others endure. There's a poetic justice in it. The man who built an empire on power and control may finally lose the one thing he can't buy: peace. Rumors swirl that Beyoncé has begun to distance herself, not out of hate, but survival. She knows the storm is coming, and when it hits, it won't just take down Jay-Z's reputation, it'll shake the entire industry to its core. Because karma doesn't miss, and this time, it's knocking on the door of the throne.
Jay-Z's rise was legendary, but every legend faces its reckoning. The streets that once crowned him king are now watching from the sidelines, waiting to see how far he'll fall. Maybe this is karma. Maybe it's the price of power. Or maybe it's something even darker. A silent war in the shadows of the music industry, where loyalty means nothing and betrayal is the only constant. Whatever the truth is, one thing's certain: the game has changed. And as the walls close in, Jay-Z stands alone at the top of an empire built on secrets. The question is, how long can he keep them hidden? Because in this world, every truth eventually finds the light. If you want to stay ahead of every twist in this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this saga is only getting started.